All right, so we're diving into Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. You mentioned wanting to explore self-improvement and success strategies. And, well, this book is considered by many to be a foundational text on harnessing the power of your mind to achieve your goals.
It absolutely is. What I find so fascinating about Hill's work is that while it was written almost a century ago, it still resonates with readers today.
It's almost like he tapped into something fundamental about human psychology and motivation that transcends time.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not just about wealth, though, right?
Yeah.
It seems like his principles apply to achieving any goal, no matter what it is.
Absolutely.
One of the things that really struck me as I was going through the book was the emphasis on burning desire.
Right.
Hill actually states the stronger the desire, the more driven you become. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, he was really onto something there. It speaks to the power of intrinsic motivation. When you have that burning desire for something, it becomes a driving force that propels you forward. And, modern psychology backs this up. Research shows that when we're intrinsically motivated, we're more likely to persevere even when faced with obstacles.
That makes sense, because when you're truly passionate about something, the effort doesn't feel like work.
Exactly.
But Hill also says that desire alone isn't enough.
Right.
You need faith, too. He calls it the foundation of all miracles. That's a pretty big statement.
Yeah, it is.
What do you think he meant by that?
It might sound a little mystical at first, but what Hill's getting at is the power of belief. And he's not talking about blind faith, but rather a deep-seated conviction in your ability to achieve your goals.
Right.
And he introduces this concept of affirmations, which are essentially positive statements that you repeat to yourself to reprogram your subconscious mind.
Okay.
It's a way to build that unshakable belief in yourself.
So there's actually some interesting science behind it.
There is, yeah. Neuroscientists have discovered that our brains are incredibly plastic, meaning they can change and adapt throughout our lives.
Oh.
And one of the ways we can influence this change is through repetition.
Okay.
So when you repeat affirmations consistently, you're essentially creating new neural pathways in your brain that reinforce those positive beliefs.
So it's not just wishful thinking. It's actually rewiring your brain for success.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
But Hill goes even further with this concept of mental reprogramming.
Yeah.
He talks about autosuggestion, which he compares to reprogramming a computer.
Right.
What do you make of that analogy?
I think it's a brilliant analogy, especially considering that he was writing long before the age of personal computers.
Yeah, that's true.
But Hill understood that our minds are incredibly powerful tools that can be programmed for success or failure.
Okay.
He's essentially saying that by feeding our minds positive thoughts and beliefs, we can influence our subconscious mind and ultimately our actions.
That's such a powerful idea.
It is.
He suggests that we can do this by repeating positive statements, which we talked about with affirmations.
Yeah.
But he also emphasizes the importance of visualization. He even says that imagination is the workshop of the mind. What's your take on the role of visualization in achieving success?
Visualization is a key technique for harnessing the power of the subconscious mind. It's about creating a clear mental picture of yourself, achieving your goals, and experiencing those feelings of success as if it's already happened.
And this isn't just some new age concept.
No, it's not.
Elite athletes and performers have been using visualization techniques for decades to enhance their performance.
Exactly.
That makes sense. It's like giving your subconscious mind a clear blueprint to work with.
Yeah, I like that.
But we know that the road to success isn't always smooth.
Right.
There are going to be setbacks and challenges along the way. How does Hill address this in Think and Grow Rich?
He emphasizes the importance of persistence, and I'd even say grit. He has this fantastic quote, "The mind that perseveres is the mind that wins." It's about understanding that failure is not the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone to success. And it's about having the mental fortitude to keep going, even when things get tough.
That's such a valuable perspective. But how do we cultivate that kind of persistence?
Yeah.
How do we stay motivated when we're facing challenges?
Hill reminds us that it all comes back to desire. When you have a strong why, a deep-seated reason for wanting to achieve your goals, it becomes easier to persevere.
Okay.
He suggests regularly reminding yourself of your purpose and the reasons why you embarked on this journey in the first place.
So it's about connecting with your core motivation and using it as a source of fuel when things get tough.
Exactly.
That's a powerful idea. But is there anything else that can help us stay on track and maintain that persistence?
Well, this is where Hill introduces the concept of a mastermind group.
Okay.
He suggests surrounding yourself with a group of like-minded individuals who can provide support, encouragement, and accountability.
Uh-huh.
He believed that the collective energy of a mastermind group could amplify individual efforts and help everyone achieve greater success.
That's a great point. We often think of success as an individual pursuit, but having a support system can make a huge difference. It's like having a team of cheerleaders and strategists in your corner pushing you forward and helping you navigate the inevitable challenges.
Precisely. And Hill wasn't just talking about emotional support.
Right.
He believed that a mastermind group could also provide valuable insights, feedback, and resources that can help you grow and achieve your goals.
So it's about surrounding yourself with people who believe in you, challenge you, and support your growth.
Exactly.
That's a powerful reminder that we don't have to go it alone on the path to success. But there's another aspect of Hill's work that I find particularly intriguing. He talks about the importance of understanding and even harnessing fear. That seems a bit counterintuitive. Isn't fear something we should try to avoid?
That's a common misconception. Hill actually saw fear as a powerful force that can be used to our advantage.
Really?
He identified 6 basic fears that hold people back: fear of poverty,
Okay.
criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death. And he suggests that by understanding and confronting these fears, we can actually use them as fuel for growth.
Wait, how do we do that? How do we turn fear into fuel?
Hill believed in the power of analysis. He encourages us to really examine our fears to understand where they come from and how they're impacting our lives.
Okay.
He even suggests writing them down and dissecting them. It's about shining a light on those fears and taking away their power.
So it's like taking a scientific approach to fear.
Exactly.
Analyzing it, understanding it,
Yeah.
and then developing strategies to overcome it. But what about fears that seem irrational or deep-seated? Like, what if someone has a fear of public speaking, even though logically they know it's not going to harm them?
That's a great example in those cases. Hill recommends a process of gradual desensitization.
Okay.
It's about exposing yourself to your fear in a controlled and manageable way.
So like baby steps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for someone with a fear of public speaking, it might start with practicing in front of a mirror, then with a small group of friends, and gradually working their way up to larger audiences.
So it's about taking small steps, building confidence, and gradually expanding your comfort zone.
Exactly.
But again, having a supportive network like a mastermind group could be invaluable in this process, right?
Absolutely. Having people who believe in you and can offer encouragement and constructive feedback can make all the difference when you're facing your fears and stepping outside of your comfort zone.
Okay, so we've got desire, faith, autosuggestion, persistence, the power of a mastermind group, and even harnessing fear.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. What else does Hill have in store for us on this journey of unlocking our potential?
Well, in the next part of our deep dive, we're going to delve into some of Hill's more nuanced concepts, including his insights on creativity and the power of the subconscious mind.
Ooh, this is all so fascinating. I'm ready to have my mind expanded even further.
I think you'll be surprised by how much depth and wisdom there is to uncover in Hill's work. Stay tuned.
I will. Welcome back. Last time we talked about burning desire as the driving force for achievement, the power of faith in shaping our beliefs, and even how to turn fear into a source of motivation.
Exactly. We also explored the power of autosuggestion, almost like planting seeds of positive thought in our minds.
Right.
And Hill's intriguing concept of a mastermind group surrounding yourself with people who support your growth.
It's amazing how many of these ideas, even though they come from a book written decades ago, feel incredibly relevant to personal growth and success strategies today.
Yeah, they really do.
Speaking of ideas that have stood the test of time, Hill dedicates a whole chapter to creativity. I'm curious to get your take on why he saw this as such a crucial element in achieving success.
Hill believed that everyone has the potential for creative thought. He saw it as a muscle we can all develop, not just something reserved for artists or inventors. He even says, imagination is the workshop of the mind. He saw it as essential for problem-solving innovation and ultimately achieving success in any field.
I've always thought of creativity as something you either have or you don't.
Right.
It's interesting to think of it as a skill that can be developed. Do you have any examples of how Hill suggests we cultivate creativity?
Well, he suggests engaging in activities that stimulate the imagination, things like reading widely, brainstorming,
Okay.
spending time in nature, even daydreaming. He also encourages challenging conventional wisdom and thinking outside the box. It's about feeding your mind with new ideas and experiences,
Right.
and then giving yourself permission to play with those ideas and see what emerges.
So it's not just about coming up with the next big invention.
Right.
It's about approaching everyday problems and challenges with a fresh perspective and looking for innovative solutions.
Exactly.
I like that. But one thing that strikes me about Hill's work is that he seems to connect creativity to something even deeper.
Yeah.
He talks about a sixth sense and even infinite intelligence. Those sound pretty mysterious.
They do, don't they? But I think this is where Hill's work gets really interesting. He's venturing into the realm of intuition, what some might call a higher level of consciousness. He believed that everyone has access to an inner guidance system that goes beyond our five senses.
So like a gut feeling,
Yeah.
but even more profound than that.
Exactly. Hill believed this sixth sense could help us make better decisions, solve problems more creatively, and even connect with a source of infinite wisdom and knowledge. It might sound a little out there,
Right.
but there's a growing body of research that suggests there's more to intuition than we realize.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
But how do we actually develop this sixth sense? Is it something we're born with, or can we cultivate it?
Hill believed it was something we can develop through practice. He suggests things like meditation, quiet reflection, and simply being more mindful of our thoughts or feelings. It's about tuning in to that inner voice and learning to trust its guidance.
So it's about quieting the mental chatter and becoming more aware of those subtle nudges and insights that we often ignore.
Exactly. And Hill believed that the more we develop this sixth sense, the more we align with our true purpose and potential.
This is all pretty mind-blowing, but what about this infinite intelligence thing? It sounds like something out of a science fiction novel.
It might sound that way, but I think what Hill was getting at is the idea that there's a universal consciousness, a source of wisdom and knowledge that we can all tap into.
Okay.
He believed we could connect to this source through our subconscious mind, particularly through this developed sixth sense.
So it's like tapping into a universal database of knowledge and creativity.
In a way, yes, he believed it was the ultimate source of inspiration and guidance. And, modern physics is starting to explore concepts that are surprisingly aligned with what Hill was talking about.
Really?
Quantum entanglement and the interconnectedness of everything in the universe are starting to challenge our understanding of reality.
I'm starting to see why Think and Grow Rich continues to capture people's imaginations all these years later.
Yeah.
It's a blend of practical strategies and thought-provoking concepts.
It is, and while some of his language might feel a little dated at times, the underlying principles are remarkably timeless and powerful.
But there's another aspect of Hill's work that I find incredibly intriguing, and I'll be honest, a little intimidating, is emphasis on the power of the subconscious mind.
Right.
It feels like we're delving into the depths of human potential here.
It is a bit like exploring uncharted territory. Hill believed that the subconscious mind is far more powerful than we realize. It's constantly working behind the scenes, shaping our thoughts, beliefs, and actions.
So how do we tap into this hidden power? How do we communicate with our subconscious mind?
Hill suggests a few techniques, including repetition, emotion, and belief. He believed that by repeatedly exposing our subconscious mind to the ideas and images we want to manifest, we can eventually program it to work in our favor. It's like planting seeds in our subconscious mind, and with enough nurturing, those seeds will eventually grow and bear fruit.
So we need to be mindful of what we're feeding our subconscious minds, right?
Yeah.
Because if we're constantly bombarding it with negative thoughts and limiting beliefs, that's what it's going to manifest in our lives.
Precisely, the subconscious mind doesn't discriminate. It accepts whatever we feed it. So if we want to create positive change in our lives, we need to be intentional about feeding our subconscious minds with positive and empowering messages.
Yeah.
This is where things like affirmations and visualization come into play again.
It's like we're reprogramming our internal software, updating our beliefs and expectations to align with our goals.
Exactly.
But what about those times when we feel stuck or like we're not making progress? How do we overcome those internal blocks?
Hill believed that a lot of our limitations come from fear and self-doubt.
Right.
He encourages us to examine those limiting beliefs and challenge them. He suggests asking ourselves, is this belief really true? Is it serving me? Or is it holding me back?
So it's about questioning those negative thought patterns and replacing them with more empowering beliefs. But that can be easier said than done, right?
Absolutely. It takes conscious effort and practice. But Hill believed that anyone can reprogram their subconscious mind with the right techniques and persistence.
This is all incredibly fascinating, but I have to admit it's a little overwhelming. The subconscious mind seems so vast and mysterious.
It is, and we've only just scratched the surface. But the more we understand about how our subconscious minds work, the more empowered we become to create the lives we want.
So where do we go from here? How do we put all of this into practice and start tapping into the full potential of our subconscious minds?
Well, that's where Hill's concept of a definite chief aim comes in. He believed that having a clear and specific goal is essential for success because it gives our subconscious mind something concrete to focus on and work towards.
So it's like having a target to aim for a destination to guide our journey.
Exactly. And the more detailed and specific that target is, the easier it is for our subconscious minds to help us hit the bullseye.
This is making so much sense, but how do we actually define our definite chief aim? It feels like a daunting task.
Hill suggests we start by asking ourselves some deep and meaningful questions.
Yeah.
What do we truly want out of life? What are our passions and values? What kind of legacy do we want to leave behind? It's about connecting with our deepest desires and aspirations.
Those are some big questions. I feel like I need a journal and a few hours of quiet contemplation to even begin to process them.
It does require some introspection, but Hill believed that once we have a clear understanding of what we truly want, we can start to formulate a plan to achieve it. And he emphasizes the importance of writing down our definite chief aim, making it tangible and real.
So it's about turning our dreams into a concrete goal that we can work towards. But what about those of us who have multiple passions or interests? How do we choose just one definite chief aim?
Hill acknowledges that it's perfectly fine to have multiple goals.
Right.
But he stresses the importance of prioritizing them and focusing our energy on one main goal at a time. He believed that scattering our attention and energy in multiple directions dilutes our efforts and makes it harder to achieve significant progress.
It's like the old saying, if you chase two rabbits, you'll catch neither.
Exactly.
Focus is key.
Exactly. And Hill believed that having a definite chief aim provides that focus. It gives our subconscious minds a clear direction and allows us to channel our energy and efforts more effectively.
Okay, so we've got this powerful subconscious mind that we can tap into.
Right.
And we need a definite chief aim to guide its power.
Yes.
But is there anything else we need to add to our toolkit for success?
Hill believed that specialized knowledge was crucial for success in any field.
Okay.
He argued that it wasn't enough to have general knowledge. You needed a deep understanding of your chosen area of expertise.
So it's about becoming an expert in your field.
Exactly. And this doesn't necessarily mean getting a formal education or degree.
Right.
It can also be acquired through experience, mentorship, or self-study. The key is to identify the knowledge and skills that are essential for success in your chosen field and then actively pursue them.
It's about being a lifelong learner and constantly seeking to expand your knowledge and skills. But with so much information available these days, it can be overwhelming to know where to start.
That's where discernment comes in. Hill believed that it was important to be selective about the information we consume and to focus on acquiring knowledge that is relevant to our goals and aspirations.
So it's not just about consuming information.
Yeah, right.
It's about being strategic and intentional about what we learn and how we apply that knowledge.
Exactly. And this ties back to Hill's emphasis on personal growth and self-improvement.
Right.
He believed that true success is not just about achieving external goals, it's about becoming the best version of ourselves.
Okay, so we've got desire, faith, autosuggestion, persistence, a mastermind group, the power of the subconscious mind, a definite chief aim, specialized knowledge, and the importance of lifelong learning. It's a lot to take in.
It is a lot.
But one thing that I'm curious about is how Hill addresses the practical aspects of achieving goals. What about planning and taking action?
Hill was a big believer in organized planning. He believed that success requires more than just dreaming and wishing. It requires a well-thought-out plan of action. He suggests that we write down our goals, break them down into smaller steps, and create a timeline for achieving them.
So it's about turning our dreams into concrete action steps.
Yeah.
And then creating a roadmap to follow.
Precisely. And Hill even suggests that we review our plans regularly and make adjustments as needed. He understood that the path to success is rarely linear.
Right.
There are going to be unexpected challenges and detours along the way.
That makes sense. It's about being flexible and adaptable while still staying focused on our ultimate goal. But I have to admit, I'm a bit of a procrastinator. How do we actually stay motivated and on track with our plans?
Hill acknowledges that procrastination is a common challenge.
Yeah, for sure.
And he offers a few strategies for overcoming it, including setting deadlines, breaking down large tasks into smaller ones, and rewarding ourselves for progress.
So it's about finding ways to make the process more manageable and enjoyable.
Exactly. Success is not a sprint. It's a marathon. We need to pace ourselves, celebrate our wins along the way, and find ways to stay motivated and engaged in the process.
Okay, so we've got a plan and we're motivated to take action.
Right.
But there's still one piece of the puzzle that I'm struggling with. How do we make decisions, especially those big life-altering decisions?
He'll believe that successful people are decisive. They don't hesitate or waver when it's time to make a choice.
Okay.
And he suggests that a lot of procrastination and indecision stems from fear.
Yeah.
Fear of making the wrong choice.
Okay, makes sense.
So how do we overcome that fear and become more decisive? Hill suggests gathering as much information as possible before making a decision, trusting our intuition, and being willing to learn from our mistakes. He believed that the key to effective decision-making is not about always making the right choice.
Okay.
It's about making a choice and taking action.
So it's about embracing the possibility of failure and seeing it as an opportunity for growth. But what about those decisions that feel really big or life-changing? How do we know if we're making the right choice?
Hill acknowledges that some decisions are more weighty than others. And he suggests that in those cases, it's important to seek guidance from mentors, trusted advisors, or even our own intuition. But ultimately, he believed that the best way to make a difficult decision is to weigh the pros and cons, trust our gut, and then take a leap of faith.
It's about finding a balance between logic and intuition,
Exactly.
and then having the courage to act on our decision.
Exactly. Hill reminds us that we often have more wisdom and insight than we give ourselves credit for. He believed that if we quiet our minds, listen to our hearts, and trust our instincts, we'll usually make the right choice.
This is so empowering. It's like we have the power to create our own destiny, one decision at a time.
We absolutely do, and that's the message I hope you take away from this part of our deep dive. Decision-making is not about being perfect.
Right.
It's about being courageous, trusting ourselves, and being willing to learn and grow along the way.
This has been an amazing journey so far. We've covered so much ground, from the power of desire and faith to the depths of the subconscious mind and the importance of decisive action.
It's been a fascinating exploration.
It really has.
And we're not done yet.
Oh, there's more.
In the final part of our deep dive, we're going to venture even further into Hill's more mystical concepts.
Okay.
We'll explore his insights on the sixth sense, infinite intelligence, and the importance of going the extra mile.
I can't wait. This deep dive is just getting more and more intriguing. Stay tuned. Welcome back to our deep dive into Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. We've covered so much ground already, from the power of burning desire and faith to the importance of specialized knowledge and decisive action. But in the last part, you left us on a bit of a cliffhanger, mentioning something about a sixth sense and infinite intelligence. Now, those sound pretty mysterious.
They do, don't they? And this is where Hill's work takes a fascinating turn. He starts to explore the realm of intuition and what he calls cosmic consciousness, which might sound a bit out there, but it gets really interesting when you start to connect it to modern ideas about the subconscious mind and even quantum physics.
Okay, I'm all ears. So what exactly did Hill mean by the sixth sense?
He believes that everyone has access to a higher level of intuition, a kind of inner guidance system that goes beyond our five senses. He describes it as a bridge to what he called the creative imagination, a part of the subconscious mind that taps into a deeper well of knowledge and inspiration.
So it's like a gut feeling, but even deeper than that, more like a direct line to wisdom and insight.
Exactly. He'll believe that this sixth sense could help us make better decisions, solve problems more creatively, and even connect with a source of infinite wisdom. He saw it as a key to unlocking our true potential.
This is fascinating, but I have to ask, is this something we're born with, or can we cultivate it? I mean, it would be incredible to have that kind of direct access to intuition and insight.
Hill believed that while some people might be more naturally intuitive than others, it's absolutely something we can cultivate through practice. He suggests practices like meditation, quiet reflection, and simply being more mindful of our thoughts and feelings.
So it's about quieting the mental chatter and becoming more attuned to our inner voice.
Precisely. It's about learning to listen to those whispers of intuition, those flashes of insight that often come when we least expect them. Hill believed that the more we develop this sixth sense, the more aligned we become with our true purpose and the more effortlessly we attract success.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this connects to some of the other principles we've discussed, like faith and the power of the subconscious mind. But what about this infinite intelligence concept? It sounds almost spiritual.
It does, doesn't it? And I think that's part of what makes Hill's work so intriguing. He blends these very practical strategies for success with these more mystical, philosophical ideas. But when you really think about it, the concept of infinite intelligence isn't that far-fetched.
I'm listening. Explain this one to me.
Well, Hill believed that there's a universal intelligence, a kind of cosmic consciousness that we can all tap into. He describes it as a boundless source of knowledge and creativity that permeates all of existence.
So it's like a universal library of wisdom and insight that we can access if we know how.
Exactly. And Hill believed that we can connect to this source through our subconscious minds, particularly through this developed sixth sense. He saw it as the ultimate source of inspiration, creativity, and guidance. And it's interesting to consider this in light of modern physics, which is starting to explore ideas about interconnectedness and the flow of information in ways that would have seemed unimaginable in Hill's time.
Okay, now you've really got my attention.
But how do we actually connect with this infinite intelligence? It all sounds a bit, mystical.
It might sound that way, but Hill believed that we can connect to it through a combination of faith, imagination, and focused intention. Remember how we talked about the importance of visualizing our goals? Hill believed that when we combine vivid visualization with a deep belief in our ability to achieve our goals, we're essentially sending a powerful request to this universal intelligence. And he believed that it responds by helping us manifest those goals in our reality. So it's like we're co-creating with the universe. Our intentions and beliefs combined with this universal intelligence create the conditions for success.
That's a great way to put it. Hill believed that we're not just passive recipients of fate, we're active participants in shaping our own destinies. And when we align our desires and beliefs with this infinite intelligence, we tap into a power that's far greater than ourselves.
This is starting to connect with something I've always struggled with, self-sabotage. Is it possible that when we don't believe in ourselves or our goals, we're actually blocking this flow of infinite intelligence?
That's a brilliant insight. And I think Hill would absolutely agree with you. He believed that fear and doubt are major obstacles to success because they create resistance to this flow of infinite intelligence. When we allow those negative thoughts or beliefs to take hold, we're essentially cutting ourselves off from the source of our power.
This is all incredibly inspiring. It's like we have this incredible potential within us, but we need to clear the way for it to flow through us. It reminds me of that saying, leap and the net will appear.
I love that analogy. It captures the essence of faith and trust in the process. Hill believed that when we take action aligned with our goals, even if we don't have all the answers or see the full path ahead, the universe conspires to support us.
Okay, I have to admit, this is starting to shift my whole perspective on success. It's not just about hard work and strategy. It's about aligning ourselves with this greater power and allowing it to work through us. But we've talked about a lot of big, almost philosophical concepts. What about the nitty-gritty of success? Is there anything in Think and Grow Rich that addresses the importance of effort and action?
Absolutely. In fact, Hill dedicates a whole chapter to the importance of going the extra mile. He believed that this was a crucial differentiator between those who achieve great success and those who just get by. It's about exceeding expectations, delivering more value than what's required, and always striving for excellence.
So it's not just about doing a good job. It's about going above and beyond. I can see how that would make a difference, especially in today's competitive world.
Exactly. Hill observed that the most successful people in any field consistently went the extra mile. They were the ones who were always looking for ways to improve, innovate, and deliver exceptional results.
But how do we actually put this principle into practice? What does going the extra mile look like in everyday life? It sounds exhausting.
It doesn't have to be exhausting. It's more about a shift in mindset than constantly working ourselves to the bone. It might mean staying a little later to help a colleague finish a project, taking the time to send a handwritten thank you note to a client, or simply putting in that extra effort to make sure every detail is perfect. It's about having a mindset of excellence and always looking for ways to add value.
So it's not about being a workaholic. It's about having a genuine desire to do your best and to contribute something meaningful. It's about passion and purpose.
Exactly. And Hill believed that this mindset would ultimately lead to greater rewards, both internally and externally. He believed that when you go the extra mile, you create a ripple effect of positivity and abundance.
This has been an incredible deep dive. We've explored the power of desire, faith, autosuggestion, persistence, turning fear into fuel, cultivating creativity, tapping into the subconscious mind, defining our definite chief aim, the importance of specialized knowledge, the value of organized planning, the power of decisive action, the sixth sense infinite intelligence, and the importance of going the extra mile. Think and Grow Rich is truly a treasure trove of wisdom and inspiration. I feel like I've gained a whole new toolkit for approaching my goals and creating the life I want.
It is a powerful book, isn't it? And while it was written decades ago, Hill's insights remain surprisingly relevant today. He offers a timeless roadmap for success, one that goes beyond just achieving material wealth and speaks to the deeper aspects of human potential.
Well said. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's one final thought you'd like to leave our listeners with?
I'd encourage everyone to pick up a copy of Think and Grow Rich and spend some time reflecting on its message. Ask yourself, what is my burning desire? What is my definite chief aim? And then start taking action, even if it's just one small step at a time. The journey to success begins with a single thought, a single decision, a single action.
That's a great message to end on. Thank you so much for guiding us through this incredible deep dive into Think and Grow Rich. It's been a true pleasure exploring these ideas with you. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope you found it as insightful and inspiring as we have. Until next time, keep thinking, keep growing, and keep reaching for your dreams.